What's up, you guys? You probably already know what the video is all about based on the title and possibly the thumbnail. So before I start, hit that like button. That helps me out tremendously. Also, hit that subscribe button because I'm doing a giveaway, which I can get into at the end. So if you want to be in that giveaway, if you want to know the details of the giveaway, wait till the end and I'll get into it. So based on the title, you probably guessed that I'm going over questions and answers in an interview process. And I feel like I had a lot of experience in the past in doing interviews and answering all of these questions and knowing what are the difficult questions. So I'm going over my top 6 interview questions that people think are simple, but they're actually really difficult to answer. So a lot of people mess up the answers to these questions and you don't really know why, because you don't get a call back from the interviewer or the hiring manager. And there's a reason why. And I can tell you these reasons, and I'm gonna go through the list of these questions, but these are not the only ones. I'm just going through my top questions that I know I've messed up in the past. And I know for a fact I didn't get a call back because I didn't answer these questions the right way. So what I'm gonna do is go through the questions, give you my little blurb of what they actually want, and then an example of what I would say in that situation. So hopefully it can help you out in the next time you have an interview. And before I actually get into it, I do have a suggestion. If you are not comfortable with the interview process, if you feel like one of your faults is the fact that you're nervous, I recommend that you go on 1 interview per month. You need to do that in order to be comfortable with interviews. I am very comfortable with the interview process because I used to go on 2 interviews per month, but at least go on 1. And if you can't physically get an interview in that month, then try and go for 2 in the next month, or just, skip it. But make sure you try and go on as many interviews as possible. So let's start with the first question. This question is very simple, just like all the rest. And that question is, what is your dream job? And I know this seems very simple, right? But a lot of people get this wrong. A lot of people answer it the wrong way. They'll say, my dream job is to be working here. That makes you look desperate. That makes you look like you have no other option, and you have no other jobs lined up, and they feel like you have no value. That's what the interviewer is going to look at you like. They're going to say, he has no value, she has no value, because nobody else wants to hire him or her. So what I recommend is you talk about how your future will truly play out. And a lot of people like to fluff it and just say, oh, I want to work here and I want to grow within the company. But that's not what you need to say. So here's what I would say. I'm going to read off directly what I wrote. My dream job would be within an organization that prides itself on helping people grow, whether they are in or outside of the business, always moving forward and not running in place. This is something that I would say it makes it broad, but it still makes it seem like I want to create value within that organization, but I want to create value within every organization. It doesn't narrow it down to just them, and it makes it look like you have value and you're bringing value into the company. So a lot of interviewers will see that answer. They might end up engaging a little bit more and asking a couple more questions, but that's what you want. The more questions that they ask. The next question is, why are you leaving your current job? This is a really difficult one. It's very simple when you look at it because you could just say anything you want, but why are you truly leaving your job? And you need to talk to them and say exactly why you're leaving your job. Now, if it's for a weird reason and you got fired or something like that, then that's an explanation that you need to have in another situation. I mean, you could talk about it here, but I have no suggestions for that. I have a suggestion for why you're leaving your current job. Basically, you want to give them the 10,000 foot view. You don't want to give them the 100-foot view because then you're going too much into detail. And I've had times to where I've done that, where I actually went through all the details why I'm leaving my job for this job. And it just got to be too much. And I talked to the interviewer afterwards saying, what could I have done better? And that question came up, the fact that I spent close to 10 minutes explaining, why I left my job and having a conversation back and forth and him not understanding. So you want to give them the 10,000 foot view. And if they do ask a couple of questions, keep those as simple as possible. So the answer that I would give in this situation is my current job is not offering their employees enough opportunity. I felt like I was at my ceiling in this position and I wanted to start exploring leadership roles. I've gained a lot of skills from this organization, and I would like to be a mentor to others. So something like that to make it seem like, again, you're adding value to the company. You're showing that you can help the company and you can help others within the company, and you want to work together as a team. You're showing so many different skills. You want to make sure you highlight all of these skills in every answer that you give. So that's an example of what I would do. The next one is a typical question, but a lot of people get it wrong. It's, what are your strengths? And the reason why this is on here is because a lot of people will just list off what their strengths are without giving that little blurb or explanation on what they actually mean. So you can pretty much list off anything, and it's not going to be good without that little explanation at the end. Because every time you give any type of detail, anything that you're good at, you want to show how you used it or an example of it. So for this question, I always recommend that you have at least 3 to 5 answers. I usually do around 3, but then I have a longer explanation at the end. But you also want to hit all of the buckets. You want to hit the technical piece, the social piece, and then also the personal piece. You want to make sure that you hit all of these buckets so they know that you're a team player, you have a great personality, and that you know what you're doing in the position. So an answer that I would give to this, what are your greatest professional strengths, is I have 3 main strengths that most people would associate with me. And when you're saying something like that, when you have any type of tie with other people, it makes it seem like you're a team player, that you're working in a team and you work well with others. One is my system knowledge, and I learn systems faster than a normal person. So you can say something like that and then have an example basically saying, I'm a person that you can sit down 1 or 2 times and then I'll learn the system, and I'll continue to try and learn new things that someone else doesn't know. Second will be my communication skills, verbal or written. I send out emails all the time. I speak in meetings. I run meetings. So I know that I have a great speaking voice. I know that I have a voice that is heard by the masses, basically. So you could say something like that. And the third would be a strong personality, the question, the status quo, because you never know if information is correct. So you want to make sure that you're getting all of the correct information. So when you have all of your strengths, your 3 strengths, your 5 strengths, you want to give that little blurb at the end to make yourself stand out to other people that are just saying one-word answers. Because yes, they can know that you have communication skills, but how? The next one is, what do you consider your weaknesses? And this is another tough one because a lot of people don't know how to answer this. And they either answer it with a positive, they try and twist into a negative, or they answer it with a full-blown negative and the company looks at them and goes, okay. Or you have those people that answer with multiple answers, basically stating that they have multiple problems, they have multiple weaknesses. What companies want to hear is they want to hear that you have a problem, but you're fixing it. Everybody has their issues, but how are you fixing it? And if you have some sort of weakness in there and then you also state the solution, then they're going to want to work with you. They're going to want to hire you. So a way that I would answer this question, what do I consider to be my biggest weakness, is my biggest weakness that I have is I don't trust others to complete my work. I'm consistently trying to find ways to limit that weakness. I notice that as I take on more projects, I need to pass my current tasks to others. And as I do that, it makes it easier to let go and trust others that they will do a great job. So something like that, where you have that limited sentence to where you state your weakness, and then you're able to talk about all of the positives on how you're going to fix it, the solutions behind it. Because a company just wants to know that if you have a problem, you're going to solve it. And that's a small form of problem solving. And it's a problem that you solve within you. So then they know that you can solve problems within their company. So this is a difficult one to answer. I recommend practicing this. You need to go through your weaknesses and understand how you're going to fix it. And this is one that you're probably going to need a script on, because if they ask you what are your biggest weaknesses, then you have to remember, 3 of them. The next question is, why should I hire you? That is a very broad question. And it's basically telling you to be confident. This would be the same answer as if you were getting fired from the job and you were on your ride home. You would be talking to yourself saying why you deserve that job over somebody else. Probably without all the curse words, but you would still be talking yourself up, being very confident. So this is what you want to do. My recommendation for this answer, why should I hire you, is I feel as though I'm the best candidate in every position that I have been in. I have excelled. I am the hardest working employee that you will ever meet, and all of my former managers will tell you that. Then you could say something that makes them think that you're valuable to the company. And I'm not saying that you have to be a fraud in any way, but live up to that when you say it. But you can say something that creates value. What I stated was, I have two long-term goals when I start a job. One is to make the company the best it can be, and two is to help my coworkers be the best they can be. So something simple as that kind of sounds like a quote, but you can quote me if you want. Make sure you cite it because I will find you. But you can say something like that that may be quote worthy, and it just makes them feel like you're going to be creating value and you care about the company even though you're not within the company yet. You care about their employees even though you're not around their employees yet. You're already creating value and you're making the interviewer feel like he's going to make a great choice or she's going to make a great choice. And the last question is the most difficult one. This is the one that a lot of people have trouble with, and I've had trouble with in the past. It's tell me about yourself. That is so broad. You don't know what to do. A lot of people don't know what to do. They get caught off guard just because you have a whole life behind you that you have to tell this one person about, right? Technically, you don't have to do that. When they say tell me about yourself, they just mean tell me how you're a great fit for this company. And a lot of times I like to include a little bit of history. I like to have some sort of transition there. But the thing I like to do is leave something personal that may spark a conversation in the end. So if the interviewer likes something, if it doesn't spark a conversation, then it's a great ending point. But it's a way to force transition from talking about yourself to talking about both of you. So an example of what I would say in this situation, tell me a little bit about yourself. I've always been a hardworking individual since I was about 12. I was the kid that instead of playing at the park all day, I would only play for an hour and then mow my neighbor's grass for $20 just to get the time value of money out of my day. That's it. Now, saying like that is basically saying that you're a hardworking individual, maybe going to an extent saying that you're only playing for an hour makes it look like you're all work and no play, but it still kind of pushes it in your favor when you think about it, because of the fact that you're a hard worker, and they're not going to turn down a hard worker just because he doesn't have a playful personality. And if you express that you had a playful personality in your other answers, all of the other answers, and maybe conversations on the side, then you don't have to worry about that. I've never been a person to procrastinate. Even to this day, I love to get to the point of completion. One thing that I pride myself on is getting the work done. And that's something that basically puts an exclamation point to that. And the employer will look at you like you're valuable. And if they think you're valuable, again, you're going to get hired. The last thing that I want to do is spark a conversation, create something personal about it. So what I would say is, with all the work that I do, I still leave some time to play golf. Have you ever played? So you ask a question and hopefully they get engaged in the situation. And if they do, then you have a conversation. It's all about back and forth, and it makes you look good. It makes you look like you have small talk ability, communication skills, things like that. So that's my last question. If you look at it as a whole, I mean, I just went over 6 of the most difficult, simple questions that you could possibly have in an interview. And hopefully this helped you out to be able to master your interview skills. If it did, hit the like button. Also, comment down below if you have any other interview questions that you wanted to talk about, that you have problems with. I know there are a lot more, it's not just this, but these are the ones that I've had problems with, and I wanted to give you examples on how I would answer them. So hopefully it helped you. Also hit that subscribe button, because I'm doing a giveaway of 2 Amazon gift cards when I hit my 1,000 subscriber mark. So definitely stay tuned for that. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button and you're entered. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.